Alright, so continuing the Fly franchise, we have Return of the Fly, which came out 1 year after the first film, but takes place more than 1 year after the first film because Philippe, the kid from the first film, who was maybe 6 or 7 years old, is now a fully grown adult man who is probably about 30. Problem with that is they brought back Vincent Price, who doesn't look any older than he did. And this is in black and white. And you can't really tell if they did anything to make him look older, although his hair does look a little bit whiter. Maybe they added more white to his hair to make it look, make him look older, but he doesn't look any older. But this film follows Philippe, who after finding out what his father had done, decides he wants to continue the experiments. But he trusts the wrong people and things go wrong. So let's discuss, shall we? Right away, I'm going to tell you this one isn't as good as the first one. There were some points that like Vincent Price, he gets more to do in this one. And the parts that he is in, much like the first one, he is great. It's Vincent Price, so you can't go wrong with that. And he does very well with this. Also, the actor who portrayed Philippe, Brett Halsey, he's good. I don't know what he went on to do, but he's actually pretty good too. This film actually starts off with the funeral of Helene Delambre, Philippe's mother, Andre's wife. She has passed away. Apparently she dealt with the hysteria of what happened her entire life. Now she's passed away, and this is where, Philippe says, I want to know what happened to my father. So he takes him to the lab. And at first I thought there was a continuity error because he tells them to go to the foundry, but the lab was in his house. But it's still in the house, it's just near the foundry, I guess. I guess I didn't realize how close they were. But I guess they had to be to get him there to press down. This one has a bit of a happier ending to it, too. Not just... And I didn't mention this in my review for the first one. I should have. But the music in the first one kind of contrasted, where at some points it was very whimsical. And but then when the fly would pop up, it would have dun. In this one, it's all dun. They got the good score. There's not very much whimsicality to it, and it works here. But it also worked in the first one because it would be normal, and then there isn't much of a scare type thing. There's a couple times where I guess they tried to recapture what they did with the first one, where the female is screaming at the fly monster, but it doesn't work here. It just comes off as like what, I don't know if it's the actress, probably, but when it happened, I laughed. I was like, oh god, that's cheesy. This is the cheesy one. It's not cheesy, but to me, this is what I thought the fly was going to be. It's not schlock by any means, but it's not as good. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so he starts to recreate, but he needs funding. He starts with funding, but he loses the funding, and so he has to blackmail his own uncle to help with the experiments. He has with him a man calling himself Alan Hines, but it turns out Alan Hines is really a man named Ronald, who's working for a sleazy guy named Max, and he wants to sell the blueprints for the transmitter to him so that they can make money off to other people, sell them to other people to make money off. And it's made very known that after finding out what happened to his father, Philippe is very afraid of flies, and they made that known a couple times in this film. So eventually, though, Philippe figures out what's going on and confronts Ronald, or Alan. This leads to a fight in which Ronald knocks Philippe out and puts him in the transmitter. Before this, Ronald was found by another policeman or investigator or whatever, and he put him in there and he fused him with a guinea pig, and he's supposed to kill both of them. Where they found he was very sloppy because they found blood. The police later find where stuff was dragged, so where a body was. Shh. Stupid kids in the hallway. Anyway, there's evidence of a body being dragged. They find later, and still blood on the plate. He didn't do a very good job cleaning up his mess. Is what I'm saying. So, that's how Philippe figures it out, and then he knocks Philippe unconscious, grabs a fly, puts it in there with him, and for some reason in this one, I don't know if I can do it in the first one, but he just disintegrates him. He doesn't reintegrate him, which is weird. And I guess you can only disintegrate in one and integrate in the other. You can't just bring him back into the one, even though... I don't know. But, so... Francois, Vincent Price's character, arrives on the scene. He gets shot. And this is where his performance kind of tanks for me, because now he's got to act like he's been shot and he's kind of woozy and stuff. And it's just like, he's good, don't get me wrong, but why do we need him disoriented? Why did he need to get shot? Why did he need to have a disadvantage? It's not like Vincent Price is going to be able to punch people, But he gets shot, and then he reintegrates his nephew. Of course, he's at a fly. The girlfriend, Cecile, she sees him, screams, and I laughed because she doesn't do as good a job as Patricia Owens did in the first one. She's kind of just a throwaway character, to be honest. She's just there, really. But I'll do it more than before. I don't think so. But, yes, like I said, this is also in black and white, which you can kind of tell from the presentation here. Wasn't gonna mention it, but, why not, huh? So, so the police chase him, and I thought this was, like, why are they chasing him? And then they automatically think that Philippe was the one who did the murders. Why doesn't... Francois doesn't correct them, try to say, no, it was a man named Alan Hines. He committed the murder. He did something bad there, But as a fly creature, Philippe hunts down Ronald and Max, even though he didn't know about Max. But he hunts them both down, he kills them. I think Max walks in on discovering the body, killing Ronald, and that's why he goes after. I think. But still, he kills them both, and then he makes his way back to the mansion where he finds Cecile. She screams again, and then they say they have Inspector Beauchamp. It's Beauchamp. He calls him Inspector Beecham. It's Beauchamp. You can see it right there. It's Beauchamp. I know because I watched Teen Angel. The character's name is Steve Beauchamp. Spelled the same way. It's not Beecham. Beauchamp. Every time he said Beecham, maybe that's the way that Vincent Price pronounced it, I guess. I don't know. But take him down to the lab. They have the fly, and to me, the look of the fly with the Philippe head on it didn't look as good. And neither did the fly effects, honestly. The first one, it might have helped that it was in color, but this just looked like a big rubber fly head on him. And they also did the thing where he has a fly leg, so now he's kind of walking weird, which is, I don't know, it's not as good as the first, the fly makeup from the first one. Or the design, I should say. But they put the fly in, and turn it on, and it works because we need to end the film, right? There's, I feel like there was a problem, like, or did he purposely did that? That's right. I don't know. I feel like they hadn't perfected it yet, but all of a sudden it just works to split him. And the movie ends with you know, he and Cecile, they hug. We don't get another line from him, by the way. And then there's a fly, and it zooms in on the fly, and there's the end, which, to me, this was a lackluster sequel. It's nothing to write home about. There's some good moments, and Vincent Price is still good. When you actually get to see the fly killing people, which is actually kind of cool, but it's 1959, so nothing too much. Yeah. To me, though, it is not as good as the first one. And I would have to say, The Return of the Fly stuck firmly in the middle of the road. Yeah. So, moving forward with Curse of the Fly next. Also in black and white, so enjoy that. So what are your thoughts on Return of the Fly? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.